uh, began 4 years ago. It's part of the Indian Express group. And I think it was really, the reason for that was informed by several things. One was that the young people who were coming into the industry, into journalism, didn't have basic fundamental skills. That is to say, they didn't know how to report a story properly. They didn't know how to structure a story properly. They don't know how to give a headline. What do you do in a page design? How do you do a layout? Do you have that news values and news sense that should inform the decisions that you make? And I think that was a lacuna that we realized existed and felt we should do something about. The second one, I think equally important, is the multimedia skills that every journalist today requires. It's not good enough now to say that you're only in print or you're in broadcast or online now. You have to be able to tweet, maybe, then go and write a blog, write the first information report for an online news service from your own newspaper, your broadcast, or if you happen to work for an online service, right? And then you have to come back and report the same story, perhaps, for your newspaper and end up on a television discussion show at night. You need, therefore, to have the skills and the confidence, really, and I think it's really about that too, to be able to do all of that. And that's again something that we felt most of us were not trained to do. You went into one stream and you stayed there all your life. And for youngsters today, that's no longer possible. You must be multi-skilled. So I think that's the second thing that we thought was missing and was required. And I think lastly, what I think many other people have talked about, and the sense of what is journalism about, the fundamental principles of being a professional, of the moral responsibility that Mr. Lula spoke about. We are not just an industry, we're the fourth estate in a democratic process. I think that we felt that in chasing jobs, in chasing the opportunities that have especially opened up after broadcast, made such a splash in broadcast news after 2000, that sense of the values and basic principles of journalism were getting lost. And that we needed to try and reinforce that, and I think that's what we tried to do.
And is that happening?
I think all the media schools who are in the business try to do that. I think skills, obviously, we're all there trying to give you broadcast skills. Everyone has workshops of fundamental streams in each of the disciplines. But I think it's also this business of trying to tell you that you have to check, recheck, cross-check information. It's not good enough just to get your news from Facebook, let's say, or from your mobile. You should be out there researching and using all the tools that people of my generation really didn't have. You know, you can Google, you can search, but as we all know, it's not enough just to go to Wikipedia. You need to be far better informed than you were ever before because the challenges are greater. I'm not saying that we've reached that. I think I shared with you that a lot of people, I think fundamentally some of the problems we face is that we find youngsters coming in, they don't read newspapers. I mean, they don't have fundamental domain knowledge of a very general sense, right? So this is a big challenge. How do you get people to read? I don't care if they read online or they read from their mobile, but how do you get people to read? Two, that their skills of communication, and be that in any language, right, are poor. We run a course in English and we find this is a major challenge. That we have people coming from all over India, but their English skills and therefore communication skills are poor. Now, at this level, when you're running a one-year course or even a two-year course, it's very difficult to teach people the language. So I think that's another challenge that we are facing. And the fact that you shouldn't be chasing the byline, the placement. I mean, we're all asked this. So the first person will ring up and say, so what's your placement record? You know, as though that's what journalism is about. And we try and say that's not why we're here. Sure, if you're good, you will get the job. But first, you should understand what journalism is about and why you want to join it. So many of them, when first they come and you say, okay, so why do you want to do journalism? They say, love to write. Yeah, but what do you like to write? Poems. I've got people who come and say that. And I say, well, that's wonderful, that's creative. But it's not journalism. And so I think in the course of 1 year that they're with us, I think the education is not simply about the skills and being, as I said, multimedia people, but learning about they're coming into a whole new world. I really don't think that they understand what journalism or the media is about before they come. And I think part of our job has therefore been to simply educate them in that. What is it that they are meant to be going out there and doing?